I've always wanted to join the military since I was little. It's been like one of my main goals. But it was around 4th grade where my teacher named Rosemary Richards, and she told us like, a story about her husband who was in, I think, Hawaii at the time. And she said her husband was a Navy SEAL, so I kind of went to the library that day and I looked it up, and then I've kind of been in love with it ever since, so that's been my dream job.
Well, I think it's pretty unique, you know, and not a whole lot of guys look at doing that, and it'll be quite challenging for him.
You know, and Nate, having been from that area down in San Diego where where the Navy trains and everything, I think he's got some background as far as his history going up there.
Yeah, it's actually where the SEALs train. They train in San Diego in Coronado. It's like probably like 20, 15 minutes south of where I live, so kind of just having them around me, like around that area, I was kind of just, you can go down to the beach and see them running on the beach and stuff. It's just stuff like that. You kind of just see them running, you're like, yeah, I want to be part of that.
I actually have been watching some videos on Navy SEALs. You know, it's very demanding and it's very tough. Not a lot of people make it. I think like 1% of people make it to actually be a SEAL.
They said the training is pretty much 90% mental and then it's like 10% physical. But obviously the physical is really demanding, so it kind of shows how like actually mental it really is. There's definitely a lot of swimming involved, kind of that stuff, but it's a lot different than football workouts. Like football workouts, you're doing power cleans, squats, and all that kind of stuff. But with military training, you're kind of doing more like calisthenics, so it's body weight, like pull-ups and all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely having to like change the body a little bit and like focus on more different like groups and how to like activate them more. But it's a different mindset, I guess.
It takes a special type of human to, to be in that role and be a Navy SEAL. And not everyone makes it. I think it's a pretty rigorous challenge to be able to get through and actually become that.
I mean, he's a pretty crazy guy. What we do on the sideline for like most drives, we headbutt each other, and he's like one of the only QBs I've ever seen headbutt each one of his offensive linemen, so it just seems right for him to join the Navy.
Fits him perfectly. Ryan said he's crazy. I think he's crazy too. He's just kind of a crazy guy. That's the best word I can use to describe him.
In some way, you had to be a little crazy because the odds are not in his favor. So he's very bold and he's very open about what he wants to do, and he's a leader by example. He's going to say what he wants to be done, and he's going to do whatever it takes for that to be done. And that's what makes him who he is, and he's just very unique, and that's just his personality. So he'll do great.
I think it's very admirable. I think those guys are some of the toughest guys in the world, and protect our freedom in our country, and it's pretty special.
I think he can do it, and especially mentally, I think he's pretty tough. It's kind of been something he talked about and wanted to do for a while, so I really respect him for going for his dream.
And we just hope that part of what we do here can help prepare young men for the challenges that they face once they leave here.
People that pass buds kind of say it's really not like an individual passing it. It's more like you're passing it with a team. Like you can't pass that without like being a team. So it's kind of just using like football as a stepping stone towards that.
All these guys have dreams and aspirations after college to go, chase their passions, and I think that's something he's been very passionate about, and I think it's awesome, and looking forward to kind of following that path and seeing how it turns out.
It's a unique story, and we wish him the best once he's done with his career here, because from what I understand, that is a very challenging route to take.
Ultimately, I kind of want to just prove it to myself that I can do it. I mean, everyone talks about how it's one of the most toughest military trainings in the world, so kind of just proving to myself that I can do it. And then, yeah, pretty much that. Just I want to be able to prove like to myself, and then kind of just be able to earn that trident.
November's really about heart and desire. That's what it's about. Who really wants to do this? And that's what we got to be like every day. You got to be all in. You got to be all in and have heart, desire, and believe in each other. It's really important this week. So, decent start today to the week. Got to be better tomorrow. Everything's got to be done championship level.
This is 1 year that you can schedule 12 games if it works out and you can fit it into your schedule, and we just had a difficult time finding the right teams to fill in those dates, and we also felt that we had a very challenging schedule and that those dates open were appropriate for our football team. Schedules are set 2 and 3 years in advance, and we tried to fill those dates, and it just didn't work out.
We just play the schedule that shows up every year, and whether that's 11 or 12 games, that I don't think it matters too much. We're just excited for every opportunity we get.
Obviously, we would like to have a game. We don't want to not have a game, but another opportunity for us to heal up is good for us because we control our destiny.
Best teams we see is strip the ball. You got to protect it.
having the bye week later in the year, you know, there's always pros and cons. Getting healthy is always a key thing, and then just trying to stay sharp coming off 2 big wins.
You have to be smart, you know, it's not just a week to kind of just blow off. You have to, you know, take it, you know, day by day, like our coach says, and it's more opportunities to just kind of sit back and evaluate the season and where this season is going for us.
We still want to develop depth and keep improving our football team, but we felt like there was much more rest needed for some of the guys that had played in a lot of physical games, and everybody's banged up this time of year. We know that.
After playing Montana State, we had some guys beat up, and they were a good physical football team. So I don't know those open weeks to kind of like let the body recover, and then just getting everyone's legs back and all that kind of stuff like that. And then especially with the opponent we got next week, so that was kind of a good week off for us.
This week also gave us a chance to look at our roster and see how we best put it together and who we travel and how we're going to approach this stretch run. But it's really one day at a time and preparing for, you know, the number 3 team in the country.
It's fun to be playing meaningful football in November, have a chance to give ourselves a chance to make the postseason, and our guys are excited about it. And I think this is the time of year when you really see who's tough, and the seniors kind of start to, you know, feel like, hey, this is winding down, and you like to see that leadership kind of take over, and it's exciting to be playing in these types of games in November. It's important that the guys really dig in this time of year and focus on, you know, the next game, the next practice. Everything's important as far as, you know, your preparation. That's going to give you the confidence you need going into each week. The good teams this time of year really challenge each other to improve every week and look at each day as an opportunity to get better. And then I think there's got to be a certain excitement and a certain emotional level here down the stretch that our guys need to, you know, find. And it'll be a fun end of the year here if we can play well.